What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Terra Lunar Classic has some pretty big catalysts coming up. Likewise, there is some discussions with centralized exchanges and some potential new decentralized applications that could well be coming to the Terra Classic chain very, very soon. I'm going to break it all down in this video and give you some up-to-date information that, for me, definitely tells us where Terra Lunar Classic is heading. So if you're still bullish on Lunk, then be sure to subscribe to this channel. We do Terra Lunar Classic content every single day, as well as live stream 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. And with that being said, let's head on over and see exactly what is going on with Terra Lunar Classic. So we do currently have that price of 9007, 1.58% up on the day. Now, we did see a pretty heavy market correction while we were live streaming tonight. We did see nearly $500 million worth of Bitcoins being sold, being traded, and actually had the effect of we pushed the market down. But Lunk actually is coming back pretty strong. 41 million is the daily volume, market cap just at that 525, but all in the green, which is good to see. So what have we got coming down the pipeline? Now, I did a video the other day talking about patience when it comes to Terra Lunar Classic, and people just seem to jump on a bandwagon and absolutely explode at the smallest of things. Well, we got a bit of an update around the USTC REPEGG from Lunk Burn Army, and there's been a bit of drama between Rex and Redline Drifter and Lunk Burn Army, all sorts of craziness. But let's get into this and in terms of what's kind of coming down. So Lunk Burn Army says, USTC update. Last night, Redline Drifter and myself had a productive call. As part of our Q3 prop, we will be removing the reserve architecture and design and other USTC items, with the exception of the market module, which has intended to test extensively in the testnet. It says, I've shared my concerns for the quant team should identify alternative funding methods for the reserve should the centralized exchanges not support the divergence tax. As a result, the suggestion was to include the architecture stroke designer of the reserve to the quant team prop. This would include the proposal assets for the reserve, how the reserve would be managed, and how it may be possible to automate the defense of the peg using the reserve assets. And again, this is one of those functions that ultimately is supporting that USTC REPEGG. Remember, this is thin ice as we kind of walk through this and we try and build investor confidence to use what should be the best decentralized stablecoin out there. So as we discussed, adding the fact that the L1 team will be working on testing the market module during Q3, and that it would be beneficial for the quant team to model any scenarios we identified to them through our testing. We had discussed with the quant team that could perhaps spend 60-70% of their time on the modeling of the divergence tax, but then spend the remainder of the time on the identification of other mechanisms to fund the reserve that are not dependent on centralized exchanges. The L1 team will include the support of the quant team in the Q3 proposal, as we believe USTC is an important component of recovering the Lunar Classic ecosystem. Continues, there's been discussion surrounding information from exchanges being provided to the community. I did not publicly disclose or authorize what was stated by Binance to the disclosed publicly. Now, here's the debate. MEXC does believe Lunk Burn Army is the one individual that has released information that was on a secret, well, not a secret, but a undisclosed conversation between himself and Binance. And we all know how people feel when centralized exchanges are left with a raw deal, when they are not the person to announce the news. And I think ultimately that's where this whole kind of explosion has come on. It says, also, for community transparency, I've recommended a group of trusted community members be tasked with privately reviewing the communications to and from the exchanges to assess the probability of centralized exchange adopting the divergence tax. Should the probability be assessed lower, I've recommended that quant team adjust the work effort to more toward the identification of other funding resources, or should it be higher, adjusting their efforts more towards the tax divergent component. The L1 team is excited to work with the newly formed quant team and will seek to support any items that pass governance accordingly. So there's a couple of things that are really positive on the USTC REPEGG, that mechanism in which we're going to be able to go and test what that looks like, fundamentally stress test a decentralized stablecoin, which I can think is only going to be a good thing. Fundamentally, when we get into the world of community members privately reviewing communications, it just all gets a bit mucky and it gets a bit muddy. And ultimately, we're dealing with people like Binance or, Coinbase, as we want to get back on there. You have to do things in the right way. This is one of those where actually sometimes no news is good news. So we'll see how this kind of pans out. There's a bit of drama going on with it. I think ultimately, though, it is a good step in the right direction. And then Vin, one of the other L1 teams, has talked about a token launcher dApp, multiple options why. It will also it will allow influencers, artists, community builders to create their own token, and it will stop the spamming of storing some CW20 code. There are almost 8,000 codes. Do we see a decentralized Lunar Classic token launcher dApp? Let me know in the comments what you think about that one. That could be very, very interesting. That allows community members to launch NFT projects, community-based incentives, whatever it's going to be, then that could be a way of driving volume, burns, and equally notoriety to the Lunar Classic blockchain. Let me know what you think in the description. But a couple of stats, always worthwhile. Look at this. Token staking rounds, 1.2 billion Terra Lunar Classic staked from CoinPayU. We also have now $1 trillion and 12 billion, 14.79% of our total Lunar Classic is now staked, which is very good news. There is, however, a debate around the Oracle and how we continue to fill that to ensure that validators still can be profitable. We want to see some burns increase though, given the fact they are now on minimum of 5% rewards. But in terms of the price, what have we got? Well, we did see this big spike up here, all the way up to the 9,224 range, in which then we came down in line with the rest of the market, found this bottom here around the 8.8, pushed back up. We're looking at the 7-day EMA as support right now. The 200, always a big indicator. We're only on the 15-minute chart. If we come out and go to the daily as an example, we do see it's a pretty good day in the green for Terra Lunar Classic. We've had a few red days right now, but look, this definitely looks like we could be in a reversal trend, and that would be great to see us start to push back up to this kind of 9631 support level that we want to get back to. So we'll have to see some interesting days coming for Lunar Classic, but let me know down below, what do you think of it all? Let me know what your view is on that team and those centralized exchanges. And thank you so much for watching all the videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate every single one of you that likes the videos, comments, and subscribes to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.